Hello everyone and welcome to Katie Sue. I'm Ceri Griffiths, I'm one of the award-winning designers here, and I want to share with you a nice little Easter project. So let's get stuck into it straight away and look at the elements you're going to need. So in front of me I've got the tangled heart hoops that we make here at Katie Sue. Now I've got the three come in the kit. We won't be using the smallest one. You can put that to one side. That would make a great little Christmas hanger. It could make a great card front. So let's put that one to the side. The other two, all I've done is I've painted them white with acrylic paint and blended some green through them just to give it that nice spring feel. I'm also using one of the MDF words we have here. This is Believe, and all I've done is used a metallic based acrylic paint on that again, let it fully dried. Went to my local supermarket, got some fall coloured Easter eggs, just want that happy feel colour to it. And I've got some ribbons, and then I've also got some of the little daffodils and narcissi I made, already pre-dried, just with some elements to go. So let's make a really quick little home decor element. I'm going to be using hot glue to stick all of this together. You could quite easily use a silicone or a gel-based glue. So let's get on to this. So first of all, you'll see there's a hanging hole on both of these. I'm going to line these up just so that that's how my final arrangement is going to be. Now, I've got some strips of ribbon here. I've gone with some Easter sort of colours, some nice themes, just to keep it really light. This is a pale yellow, a lime green, and a dotted organza. And I'm just going to scrunch them together. Now, I've guessed at the length I need. I may need to trim them afterwards, but it's easier to trim than have them too short in the first place. So pop that through the hole. Pull it out the other side. There you go. Now I'm going to pull them up so it's equidistant. Now these could be used as the hanger, they could just be used as a nice element at the top. Now you'll note I'm actually not going to tie them because I don't want that to distort how these are hanging. But what I am going to do is I'm going to take a thinner piece of yellow ribbon, which is almost within the colour theme. I'm going to pull that down and just tie that off, and that will actually just keep all of the ribbon tails going vertically upwards. Now we are going to come in and hot glue the two hoops together so they don't move around, but this is just easier. Also by here, this is going to be covered with flowers, not hot glue anyway, so I can just come in and snip that little one off. Now, this at the top to me is really pretty. I'm going to leave it as it is. When it's hanging, it could cascade down. I could hang them up by that. So it's a nice little element. So to glue them together, now as you can see it moves around, so I'm going to open this up slightly like a book page, and I'm going to come in with my hot glue gun and actually just put a couple of dots hot glue in there and press them together. And watch out, because hot glue is called hot glue for a reason. We don't want to burn our fingers, but it's the quickest way for things to stick together. So there you go. Now, as I said, if you're using a gel-based or a silicone-based glue, I would leave that until it's totally firmed up. Hot glue is an instant grip, and it's a quick way to, most crafters have got hot glue gun. Now, what I'm going to use is I'm going to use 3 daffodils. These are the smaller daffodils. I'm going to use 1 narcissi for the end of the inscription, but we'll talk about that when I get to it. Now, as far as greenery goes, all I've done is when I made the daffodils, this section here, I made them in green in the larger version, which is on the same mold, and that gave me a leaf element. So I'm just going to come in with my glue gun. Now, the one downside to using a glue gun is you have glue strings whenever you glue stuff on. So if you're gluing with a glue gun, just make sure when you finish your project, you have a little bit of a look around to make sure you've not got strings hanging all over the place. You won't have this issue if you're actually using something like a silicone or a gel-based glue. So I wouldn't recommend a PVA glue for this. It tends to get absorbed by the clay and then by the MDF, so you might not have as much as a grip as you would like. Let's work my way around here. Now, I'm not planning where I'm putting these. I'm just trying to outline where the ends of my decor is. I'm just putting a few in, and once they're in and I put the flowers in, I can tuck a few more in. Now, I am in no way a florist. I've never been trained in flowers, flower arranging, any of that, but I do know a few friends of mine who are, and I've always been told the more foliage you put, the better it looks. So I always tend to tuck quite a bit of foliage in around. Now, I'm going to use 3 of these small daffodils. When I dried them so that they were actually able to rest up against each other. They're completely flat. What you need to do is you need to work out how you can interlink the petals. So I'm going to come in now and just stick some of these on. This is such a pretty little cute project. Makes a perfect gift if you're doing fundraising, say for a charity and you're having a fair, or you want to do a gift for maybe a teacher or something at Easter. Even if you've got your local church and you want to do something like this, it's a great, great way to do this. So there you go. I've got my basic daffodils in there. I'm then going to take a couple of extra leaves, as I said, just to pop them into the backs. Just so I've got that element of layering. It's all about layering. So let's pop that little one in there. And yes, we'll be getting to the Easter eggs in a minute, guys. So now at this point, I'm going to look at my inscription. Now I did this in a bronze because I wanted it to stand out. Now we're on a glass mat here, but I can assure you if that was hanging, as you can see, the light would catch that beautifully. You need to look at the points at which it's going to attach, which is there, there, and there. So I quickly pop this over, put a little bit of glue on where I think that's going to attach, and pop it in place. Now there's a trick here. If you think you've missed an area or you don't think you've got it in the right place, you can always turn this over and just come in from behind and put a little dot of glue behind the areas. And that's just enough to hold it in place. Okay, so that's a little trick for you if you find you've done that and it's not been in the right place. So here we go, we've now got this in place. The next thing I want to do is I want to add one of these little narcissi to it as well, because they're made with the same mold and it's a very pretty little flower. And we do have white down here and yellow. I want to pull all the colours into one. So I'm going to come in, I'm going to take a couple of the little leaves I had. Let's put that one in there. And take another one to go in there. Now, you will note that when I actually did the leaves up here, I laid them flat and left space for the flowers to go in. However, here, what you're going to find is I'm going to sit the flower into this gap, so I don't actually worry that the leaves actually need to be tucked behind the flower, because the flower is going to sit on top of this. So I'm going to put a bit of glue on the back of here, just enough to keep it in place. Sit that down in there so it's nice and artistically lined up. Again, give it a few seconds to sit. You can then flip this over and put a ball of hot glue in behind it, because if you look from behind, you've got the space here. There's nothing saying that you can't just go in and fill in a little bit behind just to give it somewhere secure to be in. So that's that element. Now let's look at the Easter eggs. Now, I thought let's do sort of an Easter version of an advent calendar. So it means that maybe if you've got some children in the house or you've got guests coming over, if I put little fall coloured eggs and hot glue them onto this, the egg isn't going to get in danger. There's no contamination of food because it's already foiled. What I would say is just be aware that your hot glue is probably going to melt the chocolate just slightly, but it's not going to be a problem because, as I said, in here, you've got foil. Come on through there. Make sure you mix your colours up a little bit. Now, you could go absolutely wild and put them all over this wherever you wished. Depends on how many guests you're going to experience. When it comes to taking them off, what you're going to find is they're just going to pull off and leave a little bit of the foil left behind them. And I think that's quite cute. Right. I like to group things in threes. It's more aesthetically pleasing to the eye, so I tend to do 3 groups of 3 in this one. Totally your choice, so you could encrust the entire thing if you wished in Easter eggs. So let's have a look at that, see if it's balanced. I actually think over here needs another one, so I'm going to break my own rule and I'm going to put a 3rd one over here, but actually, if you look, I have 3 there, and this makes up a 3, so I'm cheating on that one. So, there you go. That's my wall hanger. That's my little tribute to Easter. How fun would that look? Stuck on the wall in the living room, or on the door to your office, or even on your front door. So hope you enjoyed this project, guys. It's one of our little projects using all of the elements we have here at Katie Sue. These were made with the Katie Sue daffodil mold. This is one of the MDF words. There are several words within the collection, so you could go with other words that maybe are more suitable to what you're using. I just chose Believe because I like that version. These are the MDF. This is the heart tangle. There is actually a round tangled hoop as well. Both of them are a set of 3. I've used some stamens to actually bring those to life, just some random ribbons, and I've acrylic painted it. So it's goodbye from me, and I hope you enjoyed this, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye now.